welcome to another edition of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. You know who I am, Deshaun Whip Dog Whipple, and I am here with my partner.
Devastating Daryl Pace.
Oh, Daryl, what's all the smoke about, man? I know last time you told me we had my favorite on the show, a certain red and yellow superstar. I thought it was Hulkamania. You gave me Randomania. Now you got the smoke going on. Are you telling me it's Mr. Who's Next is on the show?
The man is coming.
The man with the streak is on the show?
Oh, that's right, the streak, man.
Oh my God. Look, I don't have my fireworks and sparklers, but I got my candles. Daryl, could you introduce our guest, man?
He is the one, the only, the man with the greatest streak, the longest streak in the history of professional wrestling. The man, Gillberg.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Oh, man. Gilbert. Fine. No, I'm joking. Gillberg, welcome to the show, Mr. Dwayne Gill. How you doing today, sir?
All right, brother, man. How you doing tonight?
We're doing good, man. Guys, to all the listeners that's going to hear this, we had some technical difficulties, but we had to have the man. So we made sure it was going to go the right way, and we got Mr. Dwayne Gill, a.k.a. Gillberg, on this show. Now, first off, I want to start, right, all the smoke, man. Got to get it out of here.
He damn near killed himself with the smoke.
First off, Dwayne, again, thank you for being on the show. But I want to start here, man. We always like to ask the guys, what first got you into the business? What made you want to be a work wrestler in the beginning?
Come on, brother. I'm like everybody else. I was super Mark Central, man. My whole life, from a little teeny kid, as long as I can remember, I watched wrestling. Wrestling used to come on one time a week, which was at 4 o'clock in Baltimore on a Saturday. And I don't care if I was up at the park playing baseball at bat and somebody said, hey, it's 3:45. I would drop the bat and run home as fast as I could because my father was sitting in front of the TV with a bowl of popcorn. You ready, son? Here we go. And then as I got older, we moved to Florida. And we had standing reservations at the Eddie Grant Sports Arena. I watched Dusty Rhodes. I watched everybody, man. I mean, everybody started off. You can imagine. Eddie Graham, Mike Graham, Steve Kern, Pistol Pez Watley, you name them, man. I watched them all start. And I was right there, right on the aisle, 2 rows back, man, every month.
Nice. Well, once you got into the business, who trained you?
To be honest with you, Barry Hardy, my partner. I learned in his basement on a 1/2-inch foam and a piece of carpet on a concrete floor. That's where I learned body slams, hip tosses, arm drags, everything till we could afford a ring, and then we bought a ring.
All y'all new wrestlers, you heard that. Y'all got that beautiful performance center and all that. Old school, they didn't have all that, baby. They didn't have that.
Oh, you know that, brother. You know that. And it was known that wrestling, be it what it is, you got your ass kicked the first 6 months you were in that ring. I don't care who you were. They showed you, oh, look, this is a punch, this is this is that. And you're like, well, hell, that ain't going to be nothing. Then they beat the hell out of you for 6 months. And then once you get in the ring, you're like, you're already in there. It's like a feather. You know what I mean? You're like, what the hell is going on here? I ain't kidding you. The first time I wrestled the Road Warriors, Animal got in the ring and looked across the ring at me and went, like that. Man, I backed up. I was like, oh my God. I bumped into my partner, Barry. And I said, Barry, these some bitches know this stuff's fake, don't they? He goes, are you serious, Dwayne? And I go, look at them, man. They're going to rip us in half. And he goes, watch this. Hey, you, I want the belt, man. I'm taking the belt. I'm going, Barry, shut up, man. Shut up. God's honest truth, if you ever get a chance to get Barry Hardy on here, you will die. I'm not lying, man. Or get us both at the same time.
Sounds good. We can holler at him, man, to get him on there.
Yeah, and then, what happened was Barry was out of the Monster Factory with Larry Sharp and all. And then when Barry thought, okay, you're good enough, Dwayne, I think I can take you up and Larry will let you go do jobs with me, because Barry was doing jobs back then. And I went up and I was wrestling in the ring, and I was actually wrestling Glenn Ruth, Thrasher of the Headbangers. And we were both, I mean, green as green could be. And we were, I mean, he was, okay, new guy come up to my school, because he was Monster Factory, New Jersey. And I'm down, you know, I'm in Baltimore learning in the basement. And I come up to his school, so you know what that is. Time to beat the hell out of new guy. So man, we were beat. I mean, literally, you can ask Glenn. We beat the hell out of each other. And then I had this one thing I can do, where I can go on a 20-foot ring on the outside of the ring, and yeah, they bring you in the hard way, pull the ropes, and bring you in the hard way. Well, I can go all the way across, hit, and bounce out the other side on a 20-foot ring. I did it to Razor Ramon, man, one time. He was like, if you ever get to look at Gillberg, Dwayne Gill wrestles Razor Ramon, and he slingshots me in. I said, slingshot me in, man. You'll love it. He slingshots me in, and he goes, yeah. And he turns around and he goes, he didn't know where I was, man. He was like, what the hell happened, man? He had to look at the tape to see what happened.
Nice.
But anyway, Barry pulled me in that way, and just as he did, out came the Godfather, who was the Soul Taker at that time. He hadn't had a job or nothing yet. Man, he was. I'll tell you what, the Godfather was probably 6'8", 370, 380 with no body fat, dude. He was a monster.
Yeah.
I ain't kidding you. And they come walking out of the office, and just as Barry slingshotted me in, I did that boom and bounced out. And then when I bounced out, me and Glenn started going at it again, you know. And then Larry goes, whoa, 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 stop. I'm like, oh. And me, I'm looking at Larry Sharp, you know. I'm like, oh my God, that's Larry Sharp. You know what I mean? I hadn't met him yet or not. So I'm like, oh God, I'm marking out big time. And he goes, I don't believe I saw what I think I just saw. Can you do it again? And we're like, what's that? He goes, the way you came into the ring thing. Oh, okay. So I got outside the ring, and Barry starts throwing punches. No, stop. Stop the punches, stop the kicks, just come in. And Barry goes, you ready? I said, yeah. And he goes, bam! And I shot in, and I hit. As soon as I hit, I stood up and leaned on the ropes like this. And I went, is that what you wanted? And he said, you can go. Just like that. And that's how I became a jobber.
So you just touched on the word that I wanted to say. We didn't want to say that word because we don't know if people get offended. But we, like I said, we have Randy Hogan from WCW, and he says the word jobber doesn't offend him. What about you? Talk about it.
Let me say something to you. In all honesty, as one of the guys back in the 80s and the 90s, you know, late 80s, early, all through the 90s, that did it, we were jobbers. We weren't enhancement. We didn't enhance anything. We went out and did the job. And the reason I was so good at it is because I always looked at it this way. How do you get better at a craft than working with the best there is in that craft? Okay? So I went up and I was a jobber. But who was I working? The very best there was in the biggest organization there was. And during the day, do you think we just never talked to them? We would sit out in the ring and talk, and they would go over things with us and everything. That's how you get better. And I was like, I loved being a jobber. Why did I start wrestling? I wanted to wrestle in the WWF. Come hell or high water. And my perspective is this. I don't mean to keep talking, but my perspective is this. The wrestlers are the true marks. Why do I say that? Because the fan, as we call a mark, is smart enough to go, I'll pay $10, $20, $30 and sit out here and watch these guys kill themselves. The mark says, I don't care what it costs, how bad it hurts, what I got to do, I'm doing that. And then after he learns, he drives and spends $125 to drive 400 miles to make $50 on a payday and drive back. $100 in the hole.
He's preaching. He's preaching today.
Yeah, he is.
We were jobbers and damn proud to be called jobbers.
Nice. Daryl, I know you got something for. Go ahead, Daryl.
Well, so Dwayne, like now, when you now did you break in as far as major organizations? What did you go straight to WWF, or did you go, anytime in the NWA?
No. Barry Hardy, myself, and Axel Rotten started Maryland Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
And that's where I had my first match, was in Maryland Championship Wrestling against Barry Hardy for the Maryland title. And I was called the Concrete Warrior. I came out in a red singlet. I rode a skateboard down. I had a white mask on. And I was the Concrete Warrior. Yes, I did. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that my third professional match was in WWF.
Wow.
Yep. And that's why I'm telling you that I was touching Barry going, dude, do these guys know it's fake? I mean, my third professional match, I'm in front of 19,000 people against the Road Warriors.
Well, so your first WWF match, third match professionally, is the Road Warriors.
Tell you, I told Animal in the back, I said, sir, and that's how I was talking to him at the time. Now I call him Joe, and you know what I mean? But I said, sir, please give me the power slam. He goes, oh, give it to Barry. No, give me the power slam. Because they knew Barry. Barry had been up there for a while. And he's like, I said, no, give me the power slam. I've watched you your whole entire career. Give me the power slam. I said, okay. So we finally got in there, and he said power slam. I'll tell you what, I hit them ropes. I took one jump. I hit the center of the ring. I went up so high, Animal had his hands. I don't know if you can see me, stretched as high as he could reach. I was probably about that much higher than his hands, and he caught me on the way down. When we hit with such force, he stood right up on his feet. And he was going, man, we got in the back. He picked me up, gave me a hug. He said, dude, what a power slam. I said, I told you. I was in there with people that were the reason I was a wrestler. I'm wrestling them. Kurt Hennig, the Road Warriors, Razor Ramon, Diesel. I mean, everybody you could think of. Earthquake, Typhoon, the Bushwhackers, everybody you could think of, I got to wrestle, man. Every freaking human you could think. What better? I mean, the night I won the title, I literally went in Vince's office crying my eyes out and said, thank you for fulfilling a little boy's dream. But I'm getting choked up now.
Let it go, baby, let it go.
Wrestling is everything to me, man. Wrestling is my life.
I want to touch on something you just said, man. Well, actually, two things. But the first one was you talked about coming in the hard way and your bump and could go to the other side of the ring. And even though people said jobber, that's big because you had a thing. What do you say to some of the other guys, the new guys, about having your thing? You might not be the doing 450 splashes and all that stuff, but you had one thing that you were so amazing at, they noticed it. What would you say about that to the young guys?
My whole thing was, what got me over was I was such a good bumper. When I wrestled, it looked real. When you threw a punch at me, it looked like you knocked my head off. You give me a power slam or anything, it looked like you threw my ass across the ring. And that's what I'm saying. I was a jobber. I was literally a professional jobber. And that's what I loved doing. I knew I was going up there to put these guys over, but my whole thing was I had to make them look good. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not going up there to make me look good. I'm going up there to make them look good. I got paid, halfway decent. As far as independent money, the WWF money, I made a fortune.
Daryl, hold on 1 second. Let me step
Go ahead.
Let me tell you, because back in my day, I was an indie worker, and I got called up once or twice. And I'm going to tell you, that one check that they sent me to the crib was worth about 10 times Anything I would make, and I ain't did a little bit of nothing. That check
You
was
would you would have drove
I'm serious,
10,000 miles to get that much money.
I'm sorry, Daryl. Go ahead, man.
No. So I want to know but behind the scenes, did they treat you like one of the boys? Did they treat you differently? How did the other guys respect you?
They treated me like one of the boys. I was highly respected. The guys, I mean, when they come back after a match wrestling two people and they go, "Where in the hell is Gill and Hardy? Guys, come on, man. I gotta wrestle you guys. These guys suck. Send us back out." You know, hey, where's Dwayne Gill? I want to wrestle Dwayne Gill. Everybody that came up to get a job, Men on a Mission, Smoking Guns, all them, when they came in and they were doing their, can we wrestle Gill and Hardy? Can we have Gill and Hardy? Do you know what that means, man? You know, and my book was just finished being written, okay? And Tony Garea did the foreword for me. And I had no clue that I was respected as much as I was. It was I cry almost every time I read it just because of the respect from what Tony said. Now, if you know Tony Garea, he doesn't give interviews, he doesn't do nothing. And he let the writer, my ghostwriter, talk to him. And he gave a 6-page foreword. That's unbelievable. And he's like, the guy was so into it and everything. He didn't even know he had a nickname. And we gave him a nickname for 10 years. And he had no clue he had a nickname, which is one of the highest honors in wrestling, to have a nickname from your peers. And once I read it, I realized, wow, that's right. They always called me Gimmick. Hey, Gimmick, what's up, Gimmick? How you doing, Gimmick? Because I would do anything. You know, I mean, I had turtle outfits. You had no idea. We made the executioners, you know, so we could wrestle more. That's the whole thing. I told Mr. McMahon, I said, Vince, I said, Mr. McMahon, I don't care if you dress us up as two turds and call us Get Your Shit Together. That is no lie.
So obviously, like you said, you had a great rapport with them, and they love that. Is that why they called you back? And how did that even happen when you got that call back with this Gillberg idea, man?
Now, what happened was I was called back for the Survivor Series with Mankind, remember? And they were like, because remember, everybody thought Shawn Michaels was coming back. And Howard Finkel called me, and I was like, Howard, that's, you know, he said, can you come in on this day? I said, Howard, that's pay-per-view. I don't do pay-per-views. He said, look, Dwayne, Vince told me find Dwayne Gill. It's been 3.5 years. I found Dwayne Gill. Can you come up here? I said, hell yeah, man. He said, what we'll do is, if you do the pay-per-view, we'll give you the 2 TVs too, so you can make those other 2 paydays and go home with a good chunk of change. I said, that sounds great. Well, I went out to do the pay-per-view with Mankind. Well, what they did was they had pyro on. They had up on the Titantron, they had me getting pinned by everybody, right? And as I walked out, I was like, yeah, man, look at that. That's me. That's me. That's me. And on my own, when the pyro went off, I went, boom, hit the ground, blam, flat out. And then I went, I knew that was going to happen. You know what I mean? And everybody was laughing their ass off. Well, and then I went in and did my deal. Unbeknownst to me, that night, Ed Ferrar and his wife, Ed Ferrar's wife, and I forget the other writer's name. That's
Russo?
Yeah. And he's the one that everybody knows. And Vince Russo, when they watched back the video, and they were like, dude, this guy just loves being here. I mean, look at him. He's just happy being here. And to be honest with you, when I was asked if I wanted a contract and all by Jim Ross, I laughed right in his face. I swear to you, he called me back like around the arena and underneath the bleachers and all that, way back where nobody was. He says, I guess you're wondering why I brought you back here, Dwayne. I said, yes, sir, I really am. Because I was going through, oh, my God, what I do wrong? You know what I mean? And he goes, well, I brought you back here because we want to put the light heavyweight title on you tonight. And to do that, you got to sign you to a 3-year contract. And I went, I said, headbangers, Godfather. I said, Paul Bear, where the hell? Come on, guys, man. He's up on me. Undertaker, this is not funny. And I turned around, Jim Ross is going. And I went, Jim, you ain't shitting me, are you? He said, oh, no, son, this is a straight shoot. And I went, well, let me think, yes. And he goes, no, call your wife. I said, look, I love my wife, but screw my wife, screw my friends, screw my family. I've been here all this time getting my ass kicked. I want to sign that contract now. He goes, calm down. Let me get one faxed over. And that's how it happened.
You didn't ask for what the numbers were or anything. You just wanted to sign the contract.
I didn't care, brother. And when I went back, I told my buddy, Glenn Root, Thrasher, I said, dude, man, they're going to give me a contract. They're putting lay. He goes, oh, Christian ain't going to like that. I said, oh, sorry about that, dude. And he goes, well, get ready. I said, why? He said, dude, your life is going to change like you do not know. And it did.
Now, when they offered you the contract, did they give you any idea what was going to happen? Like, did they, that it was going to be more of a, comedy thing or anything they tell you?
No. I made up Gilbert. I got my contract and everything as Dwayne Gill. I won with the job squad as a jobber. Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
I got rid of that. And the job squad is a jobber, so you know what I mean? Where was I? Oh my God. What we just saying?
Yo, I was gonna say, did you know, like, when you signed the contract, did they give you any idea of like what was gonna happen to you over
I got the job as Dwayne Gill. Dwayne Gill is the longest reigning light heavyweight title holder, not Gillberg. And did you know if you go into singles longest reigning champions, I'm 8th of all time. That's WWF, WWF, WWE. I swear, if you remember when Brock Lesnar had that long title reign, they go, oh, he finally beat Gillberg's reign.
Y'all
And him number 7, because I was number 7 for a long time.
Y'all heard that?
Dude.
We got the 8th longest reigning champ on the show. You heard that, guy.
And so anyway, Gilbert came about because I was doing it on the Independents. And I was on a house show, and I was talking to Paul Bear and Kane. And we were standing in the hallway talking. I was like, yeah, I did the Underfaker. I put a long wig on and everything, acted like Taker. I said, I did Stone Old. I said, I took pool swimmies and made big giant braces and come out with a walker and everything. Kiss my ass. And then I said, and I did Gilbert. And Paul Bear goes, oh, Percy. He goes, oh, Dwayne Gill. You may have something there, boy. And, the rest of the night, whenever I'd walk by him and Kane would go, Gilbert. So the next day we were in catering, and all the boys were going, Gilbert. So I set the tray down, went, and they all laughed their ass off. I thought that was it, And no, that wasn't it. That was just the beginning. And I went home, and 3 days later, I got a call. Hey, you do this Gilbert thing. Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. Well, I want you to bring it, and I want you to do it. I don't want to lose my title, man. First thing I said, and they go, no, that's the beauty of it. And I said, what do you mean? They go, we got to have you as a champion, but you wrestle heavyweights. And so the count begins. 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4. I said, I love it. I love it. Let's do it.
Streak, baby, the streak.
They had no clue what I was going to do. No clue. And when I come back to that curtain after wrestling, well, they wanted me to wrestle Edge. And I said, we're making fun of the guy, right? Yeah, well, Edge would whoop my ass no matter what, out there in the ring.
Yeah.
Give me Luna.
Yeah.
And Luna's going, no, Dwayne, no, Dwayne, no. I said, come on, Luna, man, let's have some fun, man. She's like, no. I said, we're going to make fun of the guy. Give me Luna. And she's going, Dwayne, this is wrong, because back then it never happened, And I said, Luna, let's be for real. You could probably kick my ass for real. If you knew Luna Vachon, you know I ain't lying.
For sure, for sure.
So Vince goes, all right, hell with it. You're wrestling Luna Vachon. And me and Luna came up with the match and everything. And it was really, really good. And I had the jackhammer where I took her up and then she fell on me. I had that as the finish. But Pat Patterson said, no. After that, I wanted to go up top and splash it. Well, of course, it was like, ugh. Because they were like, yeah, when you know.
Right.
So after that, they said, no, the jackhammer and they fall on top of you as your finish. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But, yeah, Luna, if you see that match, if you see where she gives me the ball shot in the middle, we ran right into each other in the middle of the ring. She goes, I'm lost. And I went, ball shot. I just made it up. And she gives me a ball shot, and I grab her arm with my legs real tight. And her arm's stuck there now. And now she's on her knees. She just gave me a big ball shot, right? And I'm going, oh! Loud as I could. I mean, as loud as I could possibly yell. And she's going, let me go, you son of a bitch. I swear I'm going to kill you, Dwayne. I'm going to kill you. You better let me go. I'm going, oh! I'm forward in my side with her arms still in between my legs. She's going, oh, you're dead, man. You are so dead.
Oh.
And then when I came back in the curtain, that was my highest honor in wrestling. Two things happened. I came through the curtain. There was not a stagehand, a wrestler, a McMahon, anybody who wasn't standing there. And all the women had makeup running down their face. And they were crying and laughing so hard. And they all started clapping and cheering, man, when I come through that curtain. This is God's honest truth, man. First time Gillberg went out, they loved it. Luna Vachon comes through, and I turn around, and she gets down on her knees and bows like a Japanese and puts her head on my feet. I grabbed her, I picked her up. I said, Luna, don't you ever do that to me again. She said, why? I said, you are my peer. I am not yours.
Oh, man.
And I gave her a big hug, and I said, thank you so much, because you just made my career.
And it speaks a lot, because we've seen, like, Barry Horowitz, had his win and everything like that, but it didn't go over or have the staying power that you had. They've done the superstar jobber, but not the way it worked for you.
I can't understand why Goldberg won't have this match. I've asked him 4 or 5 times, please. I said, Goldberg, I'm broke. We have this match. You'll make $1 million. I'll make 100,000. I can retire.
You touched on that, man, because
you know what else gets me? Listen to this. You know how Goldberg does all these autograph sessions?
Yeah.
Why hasn't anybody done a Goldberg-Gillberg?
Where
we're together.
I agree.
Would you not want that picture?
Listen, I was sitting there thinking, man, because I was watching some of your stuff the other day on YouTube. I know you were in the ring with The Rock, and Goldberg was there, but he didn't get to do the spear. So you guys you never got to actually do it.
Remember, I attacked him from behind. Right. He didn't sell it at all. He was like, what the hell? And do you know, he literally picked me up. I was 210 pounds at the time. He grabbed me by my throat, and I grabbed his hand. He literally lifted me up that high up off the freaking thing. And I looked over, and Rock was smiling his ass off and goes, ha, ha, ha. Wow, with that chair.
I know you did an interview years ago, and obviously you met Goldberg since then. But when you were first doing Gillberg, and I know you were doing it on the independents, but the first time you did it on national television, did it cross your mind, what the fuck is Goldberg going to think about this? Because you're talking about in the middle of Monday Night Wars, and you know how intense Goldberg was. So were you worried at all?
No, I even came up with the dotted line. You know what the dotted line was about, don't you?
His tattoo.
He sold the rights to his tattoo to WCW. So what happens if he loses his job? You cut the arm off, forward the dotted line. Because you're keeping the tattoo.
Oh man.
I didn't know that. It did look like their stage, right? Is that what they did? Is it was a trademark because they had that new stage? It looked
Yeah,
like
he
his
sold
tattoo.
the rights to his tattoo to WCW. Yeah, because that's why they made all the shirts and everything of his tattoo. And what happens, man, if you get fired? The guy cut the arm off, fired the dotted line.
So you said you would reach out to him and ask him to do some type of audit, anything, and he just won't. He would never do it, huh?
Well, the first time I met him, he told me I had an ass kicking coming. You know?
Shoot, he's seriously pissed.
Yeah, you got an ass kicking coming, brother. I said, well, we'll see when we get in the ring. You got balls, I'll hand them back to you.
Woo.
That was just between us. That was just between us. You know what I mean? Little thing in the hallway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it was a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't gonna get punked out. He's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little guy. I just wasn't gonna get punked out. I've had my ass whooped. You know, has he? Especially by a little guy. Would that piss him off or what? Yes, he has. Jericho whooped his ass.
So
But,
yeah.
Another thing. I don't have a doll. Never
I
had
was,
a doll.
you know,
Tell me a Gilbert Goldberg box set wouldn't be perfect.
Wow.
is that a licensing thing? Because I know you haven't been in any video games either, right? And that was during the Monday Night Wars.
I have talked to everybody I know that has a little pool, and when they start to research it, it basically comes back as it's like this. I believe somebody has it in their contract that you can't get a doll or own video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which sucks because a multi-millionaire to a guy who's got to live paycheck to paycheck. You know what the doll and a video game would do for me? It would change my life.
Wow.
And it's crazy because it was during the Monday Night War, but they had wrestling games with 150 people on it, and it's like, where's Gilbert? I mean, like you now if you go to 2K Sports, they can download you. People make Gilbergs all the time.
They were so scared of Goldberg when he was coming in that remember the gimmick battle royal?
Yeah.
I was supposed to be the last person in there. I was standing in front of the curtain. 10, 9, 8. Bruce Pritchard stands in front of me and goes, "You can't go." I said, "Yeah, right. You better get the fuck out of my way because I can cuss, can I?" I said, "You better get the hell out of my way because I'm going. This is WrestleMania and I've fought too long, too hard to be here. I'm going out that curtain. I don't give a shit what you say." And I mean, Greg the Hammer,
Iron Sheik.
Anvil, Typhoon, Earthquake and Typhoon wanted me to come in. As soon as I came in, they were going to grab me and whip me in. And I was going to come back and double clothesline both of them over. I was going to clear the ring. Everybody I put over all those years said, "It's your time, buddy. When you come out there, you clear the ring, get up, go, ah, and the Sheik's going to push you out. And that's how he's going to win." You know what I mean? And if you notice, when that last number's coming, they're all going like this, looking up, like, what the hell is happening? What the hell with it? And they started diving out. Bruce Pritchard stood in front of me. I was like, "Bruce, I'm sorry, I'm going." He goes, "Dwayne, you'll get fired." I said, "I don't give a fuck." I said, "This is WrestleMania. I'm going out there. I'm going out there." And he goes, "And I'll lose my job too." I said, "They would actually fire you because I went out there." He goes, "Dwayne." And literally, I swear to God, I was crying and he had tears coming down his face. He goes, "I love this business more than anything in the world, but this is one thing I hate about it. Yes, they will fire me and you if you go out there because I was sent here to stop you." And
Wow.
I went, "Bruce, I'm not costing you your job." And I put my arm around him. I said, "Let's go." And we walked away. I cried my fucking eyes out, man. That's no shit.
Now is that why Bruce? Because Brother Love was in the gimmick battle royal. So is that why he was in there? Was like who took your number?
He wasn't in the gimmick battle royal.
He wasn't. I thought it was Jim Cornette. Okay.
No, Brother Love wasn't there because he stopped me. He was Bruce Pritchard. He wasn't Brother Love.
Okay.
Why do you think they? I mean, they allow Goldberg to do so much.
Quote unquote. Why? Because Goldberg's coming in and they're afraid he'll get mad.
Wow.
Quote unquote. That's what I was told.
Wow. So you ended up staying all the time there, man. Like you said, you were the longest rated light heavyweight champion of all time, man. you, like you said earlier, you worked with some of the greats, man. Even going back to the Job Squad, you were with Al Snow. So you were under the learning tree of Too Cold Scorpio, some great guys. Tell me some of the great guys that you just learned from. And are you still cool with a lot of these guys? You still buddies with a lot of them?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, every one of them. Every one of them. I just saw Scorp just a little while ago. Have you seen Al Snow lately?
Yeah.
He looks
Look,
better than he ever has in his entire life, dude. My man is tore up, man.
it's
I'm like,
amazing,
man.
bro.
Why did you do that 25 years ago?
Because you know he did a shoot. And he talked about people always, even though he was a great worker, obviously they took him kind of.
He's a genius, dude.
But he said they comedian. And I think if he'd looked like he does now, I don't think they would have had to make him serious a little bit. You know?
My God, he looks ridiculous, man. And like I always say, thank God for Al Snow. And everybody's like, why do you say that? And I go, and what did Al Snow invent? The Job Squad.
Yep.
Thank you, Al. That got me a job, brother. The Job Squad. Who better for the Job Squad than I like to say, king of the fucking jobbers? Me.
Now I know you said you signed a 3-year deal, but you were around for a lot longer than 3 years, or were you just kind of?
No, I did 3 years, then I got a 3-year extension. Now I was 6 years. Contracted. I got 6 years contracted. Even when I was gone for that 2 years, I got paid every week.
Wow, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I got paid every week. Vince took good care of me. I don't know if it was thanks for all the years of doing jobs or what. You know what I mean? But I didn't argue. For 2 years, man, my job was walking out to the mailbox. Hello, check. Walk back in the house.
Now, why weren't they used? Is it just because they kind of phased out jobbers during that point in time, or was there, why
that was when the jobbers were phasing out.
Yeah.
And no, I had a contract then. And we did all the Gillberg stuff. And what happened was, my wife and I kind of separated for a couple months there, and it was because I was on the road 28, 29, sometimes 30 days a month. And she would see me once or twice every 30 days. And you know what that is. It's jackrabbit time and then back on the road. You know what I mean? It's like, what happened to my husband? Where's my friend? Where's my buddy? Where's my pal?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you're married, man, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know? And we just grew apart. So we separated a little. And I said, well, I am not giving up my son for nothing in the world. And she said, I know that. So I basically let Vince know, and he said, no problem, Dwayne, family comes first. And never called me back and just sent the check here. And then I got a thing stating that my contract was up, that I had to sign that, I am out of my contract and everything. And I did, and I put it in the mail, and the next day I went out and had a brand new contract in the mail. Signed it, sent it back, checks never stopped.
Well, listen to you talk, man. You say a lot of great things about Vince. Obviously some people feel some way, but right now, to the public, what do you say about working for Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon?
Vincent Kennedy McMahon changed my life, made a childhood dream come true. When I was there, I made more money than I've ever seen in my life. Okay? You want to know why Vince is known as a dickhead? This is why. You're working there 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You're making $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. You're making $1 million or $2 million on your gimmicks. You're doing all this stuff. And then I think I'm done with his gimmick. I'm going to hire somebody else. You dickhead. Vince is just a businessman, dude. And if you look at it from a business standpoint of view, Vince never really did nothing that wasn't best for his business. And that's why he's known as a dick, because he did what was best for his family and his business. Hey, Vince is an awesome guy. I'll give you a story. When I was there 3 years as a jobber, only thing I ever saw about Vince McMahon was, how you doing, Mr. McMahon? Hey, bye, Mr. McMahon. How you doing, Mr. McMahon? Bye, Mr. McMahon. I always made sure I was the first jobber there and the last jobber to leave. And I always say hello to everybody on the way in and goodbye to everybody on the way out. Everybody. probably help me get over. But he walked up to me one day and he put his hand on my shoulder. And he said, "How you doing, Dwayne?" I said, "Good, Mr. McMahon." I damn near shit myself. I said, "Good, Mr. McMahon. How you doing?" He said, "Good." He said, "You enjoying yourself here?" I said, "Mr. McMahon, I love working here more than anything." And he goes, "Good." He said, "How's Lillian?" I said, "Good." He said, "Dwayne and Tammy, how they doing?" I was like, "Good." I said, "Mr. McMahon, can I ask something?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "How the hell do you know my family?" He goes, "Dwayne, that's my job." You have a good day, sir.
Wow.
In other words, he knew everything about all of us. You know, he researches who works for him. He knows who does what, where, when, and how. And if you really think about it and go through all the stories about Vince, I guarantee you there's money somewhere in there that he cut somebody out of, and that's why they're burying him.
Wow.
Want to bet? Want to bet?
I believe it. I believe it. Now, you talked about the phasing out of jobbers, but a couple years later, a certain person named James Ellsworth came
It's
into
my boy.
fruition.
It's my boy.
And you know, like when he happened with Braun, I don't know. At that moment, I said him and Gilbert are going to cross paths sooner or later. So after he did his thing, first of all, it kind of put the spotlight a little bit back on jobbers and show, just like you. They're definitely needed. But what do you think about Mr. Ellsworth, and how did y'all end up getting connected, man?
Okay, you ready for this?
Yes.
I went to elementary school with his mother.
You are
Junior
lying
high
to us,
school,
man.
Junior high school, everything with his mother. I've known his mother my whole life. And I'll tell you a story. When I was up there doing jobs, I was working for the school board, right? And one day I'm in a school changing lights. And a third grade James Ellsworth walks up to me and says, well, his real name is Jimmy. But walks up to me and says, "Excuse me, Mr. Dwayne." I said, "Hey, Jimmy, how you doing?" I got down. He said, "Mr. Dwayne, aren't you a famous wrestler?" I said, "Yes, Jimmy, I'm, getting there." And he goes, "Well, why are you working here changing light bulbs?" I go, "Son, one day you'll know." Little did he know how much he would know.
Man! And it's like you guys' career was so, like, it's so crazy how that played out.
James lives a mile away from me.
That's so crazy.
His whole life. I've known him his whole life.
Man. So I gotta ask you, because you seem like such a happy, just a good guy. Even after the contract, were you still like? Were you? And probably had to talk to him too. After your contracts and over everything, were you still like, you know what? I did what I wanted to do. I'm still happy, or were you like, yeah, man, it's over with?
Yeah, man, hell, I got 6 years, bro. Hey, and actually I got, I'll say about 18 to 20 active years up there, doing jobs and shit. Like, come on, man. Come on. I'm a wrestler. And I was in the biggest thing in the world, the biggest organization in the world. And I'm known everywhere. How can I be sad, man? The only thing I'm sad about is I wish I would have saved my money.
I get it.
I wish I would have saved my money. I didn't know. And I found out that when you raise your lifestyle, you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. In other words, I would say $70,000, $80,000 a year. Then you get the job and you get the money, okay? And you raise your lifestyle and you start living at just say $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year lifestyle. And then you lose that job and you're back to an $80,000 payday, but you're still got the bills of the $300,000, $400,000. And instead of being a smart person and getting rid of all the shit that I tried to keep, you keep saving it and living that lifestyle. And then all of a sudden it's like, what do you mean declined? You go, I got, shit, that was 5 years ago. Oh, no. Yeah. You see what I mean? Yeah. And that's why, and then you got to start downsizing everything and go back to it. And that is how boys lose their money most of the time. It isn't drugs and shit like that. What happens is you get the big money, you raise your lifestyle up. You know what I mean? but you only got the big money for 4 or 5 years, and then it's gone. But yet you're still living that lifestyle 10 years later, and the money's gone. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's where I made my mistake. That's where I made my mistake. I ain't gonna lie. But I lived the life. Hey, I'm Diamond Gin for a while. Like I like to say, I was a thousandaire hanging with millionaires, and it burned up everything I had to stay there.
I get it. I get it.
And it's a love for the business. Now, question. Now, if AEW, calls you tomorrow and says, "Hey, bring it over here," would you, or is there some loyalty, or would you have to call Vince first just to get a blessing? Like, what would happen if they called you tomorrow?
I honestly would probably, let Vince know I was going, but yeah, I would go. I mean, nobody knows it, but this COVID stuff, brother, I am in the best shape of my life. I'm 200 pounds, and I may tell you, I'm solid rock and ripped to shreds. My son and I work out 4 or 5 times a week, Yeah,
well,
we really do.
I'm glad you touched that, and we slid into the next segue of our next segment. It's called Book Yourself. That's where you think about you, Dwayne Gill, a.k.a. Gillberg. If we were to take you right now and put you in either WWE, AEW, Impact, NWA, anywhere, how would you book yourself if you were to take Dwayne Gill in 2020 and place him somewhere?
Truthfully, I would take Ellsworth, and I would be his manager. The heat we could get, because I am so well liked, but now I'm turning helping Ellsworth. He's just a cocky little a-hole. You know what I mean? And how many times can I get up in the ring and go or spear somebody they think I'm going to interfere in the match and spear them and bounce a frick off or whatever? I mean, they need entertainment up there. Why do you think New Day is so big? Because they are entertaining as hell, man. You got to laugh. They are a ball. They are entertaining. That's why they're so over. And they've been on top forever. Because, I mean, yes, they are great wrestlers, but they are entertainers, man. They entertain. Pancakes, trumpet. Come on, man. How's that with wrestling? But it makes you laugh your ass off. And, you're sitting there smack, man. Where's the freaking pancake? He hit me with a pancake. You know what I mean? It's hilarious, man. I actually, when I was up there doing the thing with Kevin Owens, I said, hey, you know what you guys are missing in your cereal? And they said, what? I said, a white marshmallow. They were like, Gil, you ain't stopped yet, have you? I said, no, man, you need a marshmallow. You need a marshmallow.
With that being said, Daryl, I think it's time.
Well, first, to add on to that, I would love, they got Retribution, right? Why can't we have Dwayne Gill be behind Retribution for all those years that they made him job? That would be hilarious.
Make me Sister Abigail.
But and right now we always ask a question. People talk about Mount Rushmores and all of that, but ours is simple. Like when you're in the locker room, and at any point in your career, what's the mark out moment? What's the point in your life when you're putting your boots on and you go, oh my God, I can't believe such and such is next to me, in this locker room or in this ring.
That was actually the first Monday Night Raw. The first Monday Night Raw afterwards, you were asking about if we were respected and all that. The first Monday Night Raw afterwards, we were wrestling in Connecticut the next night. Well, Hogan and Macho and all of them said, hey, follow us. Hogan and Macho said, follow us. So we went and we followed them. And we went to a bar. Let's just say. And,
we get it. Kayfabe, baby. Kayfabe, we get it.
An establishment.
we're in the bar. And let's just say one of the bigger names said, because they were talking to the owner. So we went into a back room where there was a big round table and chairs all around it and everything. And out came 3 patrons of the establishment. And commenced to eating dinner with each other, if you know what I'm saying. And what got me was when Macho Man, I'm sitting next to Macho Man, he hits me like this. He says, "Hey, Gil." I said, "Yeah, Randy." He says, "Now that's Monday Night Raw."
Oh, man. Oh, man.
And that was the holy hell. Hogan's sitting next to him, then you got BK. Oh, I'm sitting here with these guys. Oh my God. And Barry's like, "Yep, brother, we made it. We made it. That's the night we knew we made it."
I'm trying to follow up my question. I can't even come behind.
Now you keep thinking about that back room. That's all it is.
It's hot in here, baby. It's hot in here. All right. Okay. My final question, and I'm through, man. After that, you're still very active. Like you said, you look amazing. You're still doing shows. How does it feel going out there, doing these independent shows, getting in front of those fans, man? So you like just that energy, because you know the independent energy of a show is a lot different than the WWE energy. How does that feel?
Yeah, but you get to be more personal. See, with me, I love the fans. Like I said, I was one of the biggest marks in the world. You don't know how many times I stood out the back of an arena waiting for my wrestler to come out and never saw him. I make sure I sign anybody and everybody who asks. No problem. No problem. And if I have never, ever taken money for a picture or a photograph from anybody in a wheelchair or a handicapped person. Never. Always give them a photo and take a picture with them. I used to, when I helped run MCW, when Barry and I owned MCW, I used to give 100 tickets to a handicapped community here in Maryland. And they were, I mean, severely like this, laying in wheelchairs and everything. And after my match, I would get out, this is how long ago it was, and walk around and get into wheelchairs with them and all, and have somebody taking Polaroid pictures with me. You know what I mean? And I'd sign it and give it to them and all. And the parents would be like, "Well, why do you do this?" I go, "It don't rub off. It don't rub. Just because I'm with somebody like this in a wheelchair, if I touch them, does that mean I'm going to go like this and walk back? No. I'm making that kid's life, man, right now. You know? That's the way I think about everything, man. And that's what I'm all about, you know? Now, if you notice, I brought my football team out on Raw and everything like that. Kids and handicapped people are what it's all. That's our future, man, you know? Handicapped people, God bless them, man. They didn't do a damn thing and they're born that way. You know what I mean? And as far as kids are, that's our future, man. We got to teach them right or we're done.
Question before I go. What would you tell the young guys coming up now in the wrestling business that want to be a wrestler or just started their career?
Truthfully, this is what I tell them. I say, look, do you love this stuff? Yes, I do. I want to be a wrestler.